one that religious freedom for all, truly cherished, would allow justice and protection for everyone. Religious liberty is a complicated topic. Some attack it, some defend it, and most mischaracterize it. The principles aren't obvious. The best path is to walk alongside a few of the intrepid travelers who have put their reputations and livelihoods at risk to preserve it. Seeing what they saw, hearing what they heard, feeling what they felt, we can appreciate its relevance to our own lives. Of course, we could lose ourselves in thousands of stories. I have picked just 4. I chose them for their universality, for the broad principles they teach us. Together, they show why this very important of human liberties should matter to everyone. In many respects, the individuals in this book couldn't be more different. A Catholic priest who faced prison just after the country's founding in the humid courtrooms of a still rural New York City. During the middle of the Cold War, an atheist who pushed his seemingly mundane attempt to become a Maryland notary republic all the way to the United States Supreme Court. 30 years later, a Klamath Indian man who had used his faith to climb out of the depths of despair only to have the state of Oregon try to punish him for it. And finally, a gay couple and a cake maker in the mile-high city who peered at each other from opposite sides of a chasm seemingly impossible to cross. What binds the stories together, from a dusty prison in 1813 Manhattan to a cake shop in Lakewood, Colorado, is one unbreakable thread that stretches and twines across the United States. The principle that religious liberty is a liberty for all of us, one that births other liberties, one that allowed the formation of the most religiously diverse country on earth, one that protects us regardless of our beliefs, and one we must not take for granted. That thread pierces both time and geography. Lying in her hospital bed, needles and tubes stretching from her lungs, Mary Steinmetz had only the vaguest sense of where she fit into America's experiment with religious freedom. As her case progressed, and her body destroyed itself from the inside out, she would learn. Her family would as well. And the stories in this book shed light on the principles they would come to understand, which in turn would determine whether Mary would live or die. They begin with an Alsatian Jesuit priest, shouldering the burden of a people not entirely his own. Part 1. The Seal of the Confessional. "Torrents of blood have been spilt," James Madison wrote at the time of the founding of the United States. Like all the founders, he faced an opportunity few others had ever or will ever experience: the chance to form the laws for a completely new nation. And he was describing what had occurred in the centuries before, when a lack of religious freedom had led to unimaginable human suffering. He looked back through time, and he wondered how this new nation could avoid the same tragedies here that had plagued people everywhere else. It was a legitimate concern. Human history, and especially the European history the founders knew so well, has seen some of its worst atrocities when one group of people has attempted to use the powerful hand of government to bolster its religious views over others. In the 1500s, what we now call the Reformation saw the rise of Protestantism, groups of Christians who formed to protest the then dominant Catholic Church. What followed for centuries was one attempt after another by Catholics and Protestants to use the power of the state to win their religious arguments. The result was nothing but bloodshed, and virtually no one was left unscathed. History had confirmed through sad experience that it was the nature of almost all people to abuse power once they had it, to use the power of government to force their beliefs on others, and to crush those with differing views. The question for Madison and the other founders was whether their new nation could protect against that very human